You gotta keep on breathing if you wanna make sense of it all. We will not fall. So start seated, and this is your choice really. We're going to cross the hands and we're going to take hold of the outer foot, and you're going to put the thumb down the center of your foot there. So you're going to cross your hands in front of you, and so the right foot grabs the right hand grabs the left foot. No, that's wrong. Left hand grabs the left foot, right hand grabs the right foot. The hands are crossed in front of you. So the thumbs are just gently pressing down through the balls of the foot. Sit nice and tall. So make sure the shoulders are rolling back. So you're kind of pulling your chest forward of your arms there because they're crossed. And sit nice and tall, long neck, face relaxed, and the eyes can soften, the temples are nice and relaxed, and the forehead as well. So just gently pull navel back to spine. And you might feel the hands crossing in front of you, the wrists crossing in front of you, because this practice is our last yamas. So of the 8 limbs of yoga, we look at the yamas, which are the external disciplines, and this one is the aparigraha. Aparigraha is the the taking only what is needed, not to not hold on to things, not to grasp, and really is to not accumulate either. But most of our practice will be binds and releases. So we will be holding on to something as we are now. So we're actually holding on to our feet, we're holding on to our posture, but then we're going to let go. So that's the release part, so letting it go. So sit nice and tall, take a nice few breaths, breathing in and out of the nostrils. And just notice the connection of your thumb on your foot. Maybe you give a little bit of acupressure there. If you've ever been to reflexology, you'll know that the center of the foot indicates the spine all the way down the center. So that's kind of about in the space of the lungs and the heart area, center of the body. So breathe deep, expansive rib cage, expansive lungs, front, back, and sides. Because when we come to some of the postures and we're in the binds, you might not feel that freedom when you're actually bound up with the hands and the legs. And just notice if you're tensing, if you're gripping, if you're holding on too tightly here. It's just a looseness of a holding on. And when we look at those yamas, the external disciplines, it's our external behaviors, how we behave off the mat, but also on the mat. So again, that feeling of holding on and then that release, the exhale, let's go. Nice and slowly take the hands away from the feet. Bring them to the knees, open up the palms, and just notice that you've taken away the hands. You might still feel the pressure lightly on the feet there. Wiggle the fingers, move into the palms and circle through the wrists, and just gently press the index finger against the thumb, middle finger against the thumb, light pressure, ring finger against the thumb, and little finger against the thumb. And then go back the other way. Light pressure. And repeat. And once more. Coming all the way back to the index finger and the thumb. Stretch the other fingers out. Back to our Jan Mudra. Nice and slowly release. Let's come to child's pose. So it's going to be a bound child's pose. So here you might use a cushion or a block to rest the head down on. It's not a wide leg, but the knees might be just a little bit apart so that you can just rest the belly down. And then you can bring the hands back behind you. You might like to take hold of the wrists. You can simply take hold of the fingers. So notice wherever you need to hold. If you don't need the block and the head comes down towards the mat, then that's fine too. But I just want you to have this feeling of being bound behind the back. You're kind of pulling the shoulders away from the ears, making this sense of touch with the fingers on the wrists or the fingers linking into one another. And deepening that posture, you might be able to take hold of the forearms or even the elbows. And just for a moment, as we have our forehead connected down towards the mat onto the earth, notice how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally, but also the theme, aparigraha, that non-gripping, non-grasping, non-binding. What do you hold on to? What can you let go of? Nice and slowly release the bind behind the back and then stretch the fingers all the way forward. Reach, reach, reach. Big stretch here through the fingertips all the way back to the heels and then lengthen it up into your tabletop position. And just notice how that feels as you come out of that bound child's pose. Swaying the hips gently from side to side. Let's come into a cat and cow. So rounding through the spine, through the cat on your exhale. Inhale. Cow looking forward. Exhale, letting go. Inhale, breathing in. Come back to neutral. Lift up your left arm, thread the needle. So thread that arm through and under. We're going to come into a bind here if you like. So reaching the right arm forward just for a moment to stretch. And then release that right arm back towards the left hip, left thigh. Open up through the right side of the body. Again, feel that connection of the hand towards the body, and the back of the hand might just be resting on the buttock, or you might be able to get the fingers wrapping around that left thigh, left hip flexor. Roll the rib cage open, and this feeling of this release as you let go out of the bind. Release it forward, and then gently press back up, lifting left arm. Left arm comes down, right arm lifts. So it's always the pleasure of that feeling of letting go from the bind, stretching the left arm forward for a moment, rolling ribcage open, and then placing that left hand towards right buttock, right hip, right thigh. Opening up just a little, feel the connection of the hand with the rest of the body. Breathing deep. 3 or 4 breaths. And that feeling of release as you let go of the bind, stretching right arm up towards the sky and bringing hand back down to the mat. Let's reach left arm out, right leg. And then bring it all the way in. Try and connect the knee to the elbow as you bring it in. Reach it out and bring it in. Reach out as you inhale. Bring it in as you exhale. The last time we're going to take a tiger pose. So sweeping left hand back, take hold of the foot. Maybe the thumb comes on the inside of the sole of the foot once more. Push the foot into the hand. Lift up the chest. Again, and release. Feel that moment of pleasure when you let go. Right arm, left leg reaches out. And exhale, pull it all in. Inhale, reach out. Exhale, pull in. Inhale, reach out. Sweep it all the way around. Again, you might just press that thumb in towards the center of the foot. Press the foot into the hand as you lift chest and thigh up into tiger. Beautiful. Nice. And nice and slowly, lower the knee, lower the hand. Slide the hands forward and come all the way down into prone. Bring the hands underneath the head and just sway the hips out there. Exhale, feel that release of non-gripping, not holding on to anything at all. Let it go. So releasing right arm back to take hold of right foot this time. So not the opposite, but we're going to draw that right heel in towards the right buttock for your quad stretch. Deep breaths, exhaling, pulling hip flexor downwards towards the mat, lengthening the thigh away. If you like, on the last breath, you might change the grip on the inside of the foot, reach the left arm forward a little bit, and then lift up chest and your right thigh away. So you're pushing the foot into the hand. It's like a half sphinx bow, I think. Nice and slowly lower it down. And again, that wonderful feeling, letting it all go. Exhale back into prone. So the things that tie us, really, not being bound up. Left hand to left foot, extending the thigh away, bringing the left hip flexor down. So this non-attachment when we release. You can, of course, choose to take that option, switching the hand on the inside, bringing that right palm out in front as you just gently push up onto the elbow into a half little sphinx, and lift the left thigh. Breathing, breathing, breathing. And then that wonderful release as you let go. Sway the hips, relax the belly, relax the back. Let's sweep both arms back around. Let's take hold of both feet. And again, you can lift the chest, or your chest stays down. You can lift the knees. Your choice, into that bow pose. Pulling those knees gently towards one another, hip width apart. They're not splaying out to the sides. Doing great. Lift the heart. Oh, and that wonderful release. Take the cheek to the mat. Hands come down by the hips. Just sway out. And bring the hands by the body. Press back. And let's take a tabletop once more for a round of cat and cow. My back feels a whole lot better. Doing just those tiger poses and quad stretches and bows. Okay, so right leg comes forward. We're going to come into a bound lizard, or bound lunge, really. So making sure that you're dropping hips, coming into a nice low lunge here, sweeping the arms back behind you, interlace the fingers. If you like, you can push the palms together and then lengthen those hands down the back. I cannot keep the palms together. I have to simply push the knuckles down the back of the thigh. Nice. Roll the shoulders open, lift the heart, lift the gaze, lengthen the neck. Push, 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 knuckles down towards the knee. Few breaths. And bring yourself center. Release the left hand down to a block or to the mat. Keep the right arm back. And again, just take a nice little bind here. So you can wrap it around by the left hip and just open up into a nice little twist here. Now, your choice is to take hold of the back foot. So you can reach back to take hold of the left leg with the right hand, or you might use a strap, dropping down onto that left thigh. Nice, good. Pulling heel in towards the buttock as much as it allows. Again, this bound lizard. Nice and slowly relax. Let the foot float back down and pull back. Right leg. Left leg comes forward. Settling into that low lunge. First of all, dropping hips. Sweeping hands back behind you. You might place the other index finger on top this time. Always feels a bit weird, I know. Roll the shoulders open, push the hips, lift the chest, and then push the knuckles down the back thigh. So keep those shoulders away from the ears. Oh, it's much tighter on this side. Deep and slow breaths. Keep the breath steady. Nice and slowly bring yourself center, release the hands. Right hand comes down, left hand just wraps around as you roll that left rib cage open. So come into that first twist. And then making that choice, choosing the option of taking the foot, reaching back, big toe side, dropping hips, pulling foot towards the buttock as much as it allows. Deep when you come into that bound lizard, monkey twist. Nice and slowly bring the hand back. What a wonderful feeling when you release. And bring the left leg back. Let's come off of the knees, tucking toes, lifting up into your downward facing dog. Pedaling out through the feet. Releasing a heel at a time. And now I'm getting hot too. Got no windows open up here. So we're going to come into a nice little twisted bind here as well in our down dog. So you might just start to move the right hand back a little bit closer towards the feet so that your left hand can then reach towards the ankle or the calf or the thigh. So holding onto the outer edge of the foot, opening up underneath the right armpit. Make sure that both heels are pressing down together. One's not any less or more than the other. You're pushing deep into that right hand, strong through right wrist, right arm, right shoulder. Nice and slowly, let it go. Press back, down dog. Right arm comes towards the left foot, left ankle, left shin, or left thigh. Opening up through the left side of the body, releasing both heels together. Feel equal here through the hips as well. You might feel that you're a bit lopsided. Again, finding the breath as steady as it can be, and release the right arm forward, exhaling. Down dog doesn't feel so hard when you do a twisted down dog. And looking forward, walking the feet towards the front of your mat. So, bringing the body down over the thighs, exhaling, making sure the feet and the heels are nicely balanced. Take the hands back behind you. See if you can take hold of either the wrists, and they're just behind the knees. So you might be able to take hold of the elbows. Try and pull the belly and the chest closer to the thighs. Let the head release and relax. We're pulling ourselves towards our thighs with our arms, lifting up the sit bones. Crown of the head reaches towards the mat. Only straightening up through those legs as much as is comfortable. Keep using the arms to pull you closer. And we're going to release. Reach the hands forward into a half lift. Oh, that feels nice. Lift the belly, lengthen the spine. You can put your fingers down on the mat or on blocks here. We're going to come into Malasana, so widening the feet out to the edges of your mat, turning the toes out, dropping the hips nice and gently between the heels. Sway a little bit from side to side here. Let's come into a bound Malasana. Right hand goes in front of your right shin and comes back around. Again, using the strap. So we're dropping into that right heel, opening up towards the left side. Maybe you're taking hold of the fingers. Maybe you're taking hold of the strap. Breathing, breathing, breathing. Keeping open at that left knee and the left shoulder. And 2 or 3 breaths, comfortable, easy breathing. Nice and slowly release the bind. Bring yourself into Malasana. Again, the center posture always feels so much nicer. Let's go left side. So shifting over. Left upper arm crosses over in front of left shin. Taking right fingers back. Beautiful, really nice. Dropping sit bones, keeping that right knee nice and open, long, long spine. Gaze can look to the sky. Not so good for me on this side. Oof. Breathe with it. Feel the bind. Nice and slowly release. Bring it back into center. Still in the Malasana squat. Oh, nice. Hands come down, lift the sit bones, release. Keep the feet wide of your mat. Use the block here if you like. So you can place the hands or the fingertips on there, just lengthen out the spine. You can bend the knees. I want you to just feel this nice long spine. Now cat and cow here, round the spine. And release. Round the spine. And release. And last time, round the spine into the cat, exhaling as you do that. And coming back into neutral. We're going to thread the right arm underneath the right leg. We're going to take a bind here. So you can lift up onto the heel if you like here. Maybe again, you touching the hands or using a strap. Dropping through the right heel, straightening up the left leg. Again, opening up to the side of your mat. Lots of binds today. Nice and slowly release. Bring it back into the center. Go straight to the other side. Left arm threads through and under. Right arm comes over the top, taking hold of those left fingers. You straighten up through the right leg this time. Left leg is bent with the elbow behind the back of the knee. Open up. Right rib cage. That's it. Lovely. Beautiful. And nice and slowly release. Guess what? Roll up through the spine. Take it nice and steady to come up. Roll the shoulders. Come up to standing. Oh, my head's cut off. Because I was down on the floor. You okay? Okay, so let's just release into those shoulders. Big release. Big circle back. You can circle the elbows forward. And then release the hands back behind you, interlace the fingers, straighten the legs, push the knuckles down, lift the heart, lift the gaze. So think about driving the knuckles down towards the floor. Keep lifting through lower back. Nice. And bring it center. Release the hands in front of you this time, round the spine. Push the knuckles away. And release up to Tadasana. I think I'm going to have to open up the window. Let some air in. So right foot stays forward. Left foot comes back. We're going to come into a humble warrior. So release the hands behind you once more. Bend into the front knee. Lift the chest. Fold it forward. Maybe the hands follow. Let the crown of the head release down towards the floor, somewhere close towards the heel. Bending into the front knee, grounding through the back legs. We're going to transition here into a warrior two with a bind. So the hands release, the right arm tucks all the way under. You wiggle the back foot out a little bit more, and then you come into that side angle warrior two position bind. If you like, you can start to straighten the front leg. It's basically a bound triangle. Be careful of that right hamstring and right knee in that bound triangle. Nice and slowly release. Fold it forward and step the left to meet the right as you roll up through the spine. So we have a humble warrior one moving into a bound warrior two, side angle, and then a bound triangle. Right leg steps back, find the warrior one position. Interlace the fingers, try and think about the opposite finger coming on the top this time. Press the knuckles down and then bend through the front left knee, folding forward. Getting that left shoulder all the way towards the left knee. Crown of the head reaches down. Bend, bend, bend into the front knee. Ground through the back foot. Slowly, stay low. Release the hands and thread the left underneath the left leg. Left arm underneath the left leg. Wiggle the feet if you need to into that warrior two side angle bind. Nice. And then choosing to straighten the front left leg into that bound triangle. That's a difficult one, isn't it? Roll the right shoulder up a little bit more. And release. Oh, the pleasure of release. And step it forward, exhaling. And rolling up through the spine. Come up to standing without banging my head. And just take a moment to just feel the freedom without anything being bound. Nothing is gripping, nothing is grasping, nothing is holding on. You're relaxed and standing. And just think back to the beginning of the practice, to where we are now, and how many poses and how many postures and how many asana we've gone through, which have a variation of a bind, which we don't always often do. So let's side stretch it. Take hold of the right wrist, reach up and over to the right. Pull the left wrist. So you're stretching deeper into the left side of the body. That's it. So we're reaching, 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 pushing out that left hip. Good. Come back into center. Nice. And then take hold of the opposite wrist. Lift up and reach it over. Pull the wrist away. Big stretch down the side of the body. And nice and slowly bring it back into center. Good. Let's take a lift up. Breathing in. And exhale, melt it forward. Notice how flexible and supple the spine is now. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, hands come down, right leg goes back, left leg goes back, find a plank. Lower the knees, lower the chest, the chin all the way. Release up into cobra. And let's pull back into a child's pose for a moment. Bring the hands back by the side of the hips. Take a moment to soften through the shoulders here, because with the binds, that is our whole target area. So just notice how, these muscles across the front of the body, down the sides of the arms are feeling. So let's stay at the back of the mat and come into eagle arms. So you're staying kneeling, crossing right arm over left at the elbow. And again, you can take a single or a double bind there. So you're trying to get the backs of the hands together, reaching up, lifting, lifting, lifting those elbows away. And we're going to fold it forward. Exhale. Now the arms are going to bring you down, so bring the arms down towards the mat. Drop the chin down towards the crease of the elbow. You're in a nice child's pose with eagle arms. my arms are shaking here. Reach them away, bring them back up, lift, lift, lift into back bend and release. Oh, let it go, circle out. Crossing left over right this time. Again, finding that double or single wrap. Lift, lift, lift. And then reach away, fold, belly, chest, all the way down. See if you can get the hands down towards the mat. See if you can bring the buttocks back towards the heels. Reach fingertips away, drop the chin down towards the elbows. Lengthen away. You've got to use the core there to lengthen away, to bring yourself back up. Lift the elbows, lift the heart, lift the gaze, lift the fingertips. And gently release and circle. Let the hands just gently drop down by the side of the body. Again, feel everything that all of these postures, all of the target areas. And let's swing the legs around in front of us. Sitting nice and tall. So you can, of course, use a strap for this one if you wish to place the strap over the feet. We're going to try and go for a right hand on left foot, left hand on right foot, forward fold. Exhaling, crossing at the wrists. Holding the outer edges of our feet if we can. Again, if the legs don't want to straighten, you can keep a nice bend into the knees. Soften, soften, soften. Even if you take the hands onto the calves, you can still gently have that crossed wrist. Pulling navel back to spine, nice and slowly roll up and release the hands. This time we swap them. So your left hand goes underneath. Again, they can come to the ankles. They don't have to take the outer edges of the feet. You might just be simply using the strap. So right wrist is on top now. Pull navel back to spine. Let the forehead drop towards the knees between the biceps. Nice and slowly release, uncross the wrists, and sit nice and tall. Let's bring the feet to the wider edges of our mat, bending into the knees here. We're going to try and enter a tortoise. So we're going to get the elbows all the way inside our thighs. That's it. Yeah, fold yourself forward, get the shoulders in, and then bring the hands by the outer edges of your feet. That's it. And you know what? That might be enough, but you can, of course, start to slide it down. So the feet go out and the arms go out to the sides. So stay wherever feels comfortable. Nice, good. Tortoise or turtle. Good. Breathe in this one. Coming out nice and slowly, wiggle the hands out first of all. Bring the body back. And just bring the knees together. Give them a big press and a squeeze. Do you like tortoise? I love it because I feel like I can go flat. I like it because you get the arms out underneath there and you just slide it out like that. I love it. It just feels so nice. Okay, so where are we? Yep, Mariachasana. We're going to get into a nice little twist now. So bringing in the right leg. Again, using your strap if you need to. So sitting nice and tall, get the belly on the inside of that right thigh. We're going to fold forward and take that arm around the front. Again, maybe you take hold of those fingers or you take hold of the strap and you start to turn your body towards your left side of your mat, your left leg. Open the chest out to the side, Mariachasana. Ground through that right foot. Nice, beautiful binds. Slow and steady breathing. Release from the bind. Lift the right foot. Bring it up in front of the body. Give it a good little release through the knee, through the hip. If you feel comfortable to do so, that right foot might rest into the crook of the elbow and you can cradle, rocking the baby here, left and right. Nice. Keep the shin nice and high. Yeah. Feeling that under there. Nice and slowly. Whoa, let go. Mariachasana on the other side. So left leg comes up. You get the belly free of that thigh. Release the upper arm around the front of the left shin and wrapping right arm back. Round through left foot, twisting towards the right thigh, twisting towards your right side of your mat. That's it. Underneath, extended leg active. Beautiful. Really, really nice. Slow and steady breathing and that wonderful release. Lift the left foot. Bring it out in front of you. Hold on to the foot and just give it a little sway and a release. Try and keep the back nice and straight. I tend to soften a little bit here, but if you can, keep lifted. Again, if that foot can get in towards the elbow crook, doesn't have to, of course. Keep the shin nice and high. Bring the chest towards the shin, shin towards the chest. And just rock that little cradle there. And slowly, release. Let's bend the right leg back in. Half butterfly or a revolved half butterfly. So left hand takes right knee, reaching up, right arm. Now, if you like, that hand can take hold of a strap again. So if you, do you know what? I think we will do this. Let's go for a strap. So strap over your extended leg. We're going to take the arm over the top and we're going to cross over that arm towards that knee. There we go. We're going to use the strap at least once in the practice. So opening up through the right side of the body here, and you might just start to wiggle the fingers down the strap towards the toes, keeping that right side of the body nice and open. I mean, some people, not me today, can take hold of their feet. Slow and steady breaths. Nice and slowly let go of the strap, release the body, and lift the knee up. Bring it back into the center. Change the strap over onto the other foot. It's much easier with a strap, right? So left leg comes in. I'm going to have my back to you for a moment there. So that means the right hand threads through to the left knee. You open up the side body and you wiggle those fingers down towards the foot, down the strap. Keep pressing that left knee open because it's a half butterfly. We're revolved half butterfly. So we are stretching the hip open there on that left side. Breathe into the rib cage. And that wonderful feeling of the release. Ooh, how good is it to just let go? Keep the strap by the side of you. Let us now go down onto our backs. So take your time to get down there. Roll down through the spine and then gently draw the knees in towards the chest. If you like, you can take the bound variation. So interlacing the hands or clasping the wrists underneath the knees. So pulling the thighs downwards using the arms. You can, of course, have the hands on top of the knees and just roll from side to side. Release through the spine, the shoulders. Well done to get us here. And binds are not easy, but it's the wonderful feeling afterwards. And that is the aparigraha, the non-attachment, the non-binding, the non-holding on. And release the hands. Place the soles of the feet down onto the mat. Let's get hold of your strap. Placing the strap over the right foot and extending that leg up towards the sky. You might not need the strap. You might be able to just take hold of the toe. It's basically hand to big toe. Supta Padangusthasana. Pulling the hands all the way down to the end of the strap so that the elbows can relax down on the floor, and choosing the option of extending that underneath leg if you like. Try to relax through the back of the right leg. So we've really targeted into the hamstrings as well today through these binds of the standing forward folds, the warrior two side angle, certainly the bound triangle. Hamstrings have not been neglected. And then we're going to bend that right knee, pulling the thigh towards the outer edges. And again, this is a half happy baby, really. So you might be able to grab the foot with the hand, pulling that down. We're going to do eagle legs from here. So right leg crosses over the left at the thigh, wrapping the ankle around as well. Drop the feet down. The arms can come out to the side of you. Just lift the hips up and shift them to the right side of the mat as you drop the knees over. And you might be able to take the hand to the top right thigh, drawing that twist down with the eagle legs. So legs are bound. We're pulling right shoulder down towards the mat. We're going to move into another twist from here. So enjoy this one for the moment. Again, steady breaths. We're going to unravel the legs and the feet. We're going to keep that top leg over the top. Right hand catches the left foot, the underneath leg, catching the cat's tail. So right arm takes left foot. Again, that thumb might rest into the center line of your foot. Fingertips gently clasping over the top of the foot. Nice and slowly release the hand and the foot. Bring yourself back into center. Take the feet wide. Center the pelvis and drop the knees together. So we have the left leg to do. So left hand to big toe, or using the strap over the left foot, extending from the back of the knee. Exhaling, pulling the hands all the way down the strap, relaxing the elbows by the side of the body, extending the underneath leg if you wish to. It can always remain bent. Gently give that a light pull, exhaling, no tension at the back of the leg. I'm going to take that into the half happy baby. So you can take the left hand to that left foot, opening out the thigh, past the waist, past the rib cage. From here, we move into that twisted eagle legs. So the left thigh crosses over the right. You might be able to wrap the left foot behind the right ankle. Feet come down to the mat. Lift the hips, shift them over to the left side so that you can get the twist as the knees pull over to the right, using the right hand on top of that left knee. Exhaling. I just felt my back crack, which felt actually quite nice. So feeling the bind through the legs. Deep, slow breathing. From here, we keep that top leg where it is if we can. Just unravel the feet and you release the left hand to take hold of right foot. Catching the cat's tail, pulling that left shoulder blade down, opening the chest up towards the sky. Releasing the hand and extending that right leg, rolling back onto the mat, realigning pelvis and spine, taking feet wide, dropping knees together. Exhaling, hands just come to the belly. I'm going to take a very released posture now, which is arms above the head and soles of the feet come together. for butterfly. Oh, excuse me. Bless me. It's hard to sneeze when you're lying on your back. So nothing is bound. Everything is open. The feet don't even have to touch one another. Feet can be apart from one another. Try to relax through the glutes, the hips, the knees. Take the hands to the knees. Lift the knees gently together. Place the soles of the feet next to one another. Squeeze the knees, realign spine, hips, and pelvis. Spread the shoulders out. Now we're going to bring in everything together, a big, big, tight, tight squeeze. So hands come over the top of the knees. You might be able to grab hold of the elbows, lift the head, squeeze everything in together, tight, tight, tight. Breathe. And look forward to the release. Look forward to the non-attachment, the non-gripping, the non-binding. And relax and let it all out. Take it into Shavasana. Soften everything there. Clench the fists. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Maybe you stretch the arms away from the mat. And release and let the tension drop out of the arms and the clenched fists. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze the toes. Clench the toes in. Oh, be careful not to get cramp. Oh, and then release. Stretch it all out. Shake the feet, shake the ankles, shake the legs, shake the hips, shake the arms, shake the head. Just gently rock from side to side. And now come into final relaxation. Nothing is bound. Nothing is tensed. Nothing is gripping. Everything is letting go and relaxing and releasing. Let go of the attachment. So a practice of binding when you're holding on to everything. And then that moment, that wonderful feeling of letting go and that feeling of release as you let go of the bind. I hope the same sensation can be said in daily life and off the mat, not holding on to anything, letting go of that attachment. Enjoy a few silent minutes in Shavasana. I'll let you know when it's time to come back around. Beginning to take a few deeper breaths as you bring your awareness back into your surroundings. Back into the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Taking time to stretch out, drawing knees in, rolling, massaging out, and taking time to roll over to one side. Bring the hands to Anjali Mudra at heart center. Sit nice and tall, press the hands together, that connection, the connection, the attachment there of the hands. Take in how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally after practice. Think back to the beginning, our theme of Aparigraha, one of the moral guidelines of the 8 limbs of yoga. And how we used it through our practice was to have the binds and the attachments and the connection and the gripping, and then that feeling of release and letting go. And that's what you can actually take off the mat into daily life, taking only what is needed, letting go of what is not useful, not holding on to old beliefs, habits, patterns. And gently release the hands. Take away the connection, take away the attachment to the knees. Feel the release. And always thank yourself and your body and your breath. And I thank you. Namaste.